Covering the Crew all season long on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. It's Brewers Extra Innings. Now live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee at the Avenue. Here is your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
Those darn Redbirds. Goodness, another one-run loss for the Brewers. 3 losses in a row now for the Crew, and they're under 500. 3-2. The final tonight. Not all roses here in Milwaukee after the Bucks get the big win. We're here on ESPN Milwaukee. If you want the Bucks post-game show, that is over on WTMJ 620. Brewers fall today. Jerry Augustine will join us in just a moment. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Chad Patrick being pulled early. Tyler Alexander having a slow start. The poor at-bats with the bases loaded. The 9th inning, the lack thereof. I mean, there's a lot to criticize and critique and break down in this one. There are also small slivers to talk about that you got to make sure you win the rest of this series. But we'll get into all of that with Augie in just a moment. But as we always do, we start things off with a highlight recap.
Ready for this?
Out of here!
This?
One of the catches of the year!
And this?
It is gone!
Time for tonight's highlights.
Chad Patrick getting the ball for the Crew, going up against Matthew Liberatore, southpaw for the Cardinals. And man, Liberatore, he was really good today. In fact, at one point he had retired 13 Brewers in a row. But earlier in the game, Chad Patrick navigating through some traffic, ended the 3rd inning in style.
Another 1-2 pitch. Got him looking. Cutter just caught the outside corner. What a pitch by Chad Patrick. Wilson doesn't like the call, but it was a perfect pitch. He slams his helmet, Wilson does, as his brother walks back to the dugout happy. And the Cardinals got Scott to second with nobody out, but he never came home.
Josh Mauer's call here on WKTI. Now, the good feeling was gone in the 4th after a leadoff walk started a rally, as most do. Runner was going on the pitch, Brendan Donovan, on a bloop single in left. That allowed him to go 1st to 3rd, and it set up an opportunity for Jackson Chourio to get his arm going in right.
1-1. Lined into right, that's down for a base hit. Trotting home is Wynn. Newt Barnes got an RBI single. It's 2-0 St. Louis.
So the RBI base hit makes it 2-0. Also the sac fly, I should say, made it 1-0 earlier in the contest. In that 5th inning, though, Chad Patrick's already out of the game at this point after the 9-batter Mason Wynn had that single. He came in to score on the Newt Bar base hit. Wilson Contreras would double into the gap in right center field. Then with 2 on, Brendan Donovan tried to add an RBI.
A 1 pitch. Is a soft liner into left, down for a base hit. 1 run is in. Racing around 3rd is Contreras. Here's the throw home. William applied the tag, and Wilson is out at the plate. And Wilson's going to come back and touch the plate just in case, because it really looked like William missed the tag. Now, they could also say that Wilson might have been out of the baseline trying to avoid it. Trip Gibson was right there. He called him out. Cardinals deciding if they want to challenge this or not. And it does not appear that they will.
So they survive with only 1 run scoring on that play. Nonetheless, it's now 3-0 Cardinals. As we move to the 6th inning, you need a response somehow. And with an 0-2, 2 outs, Jackson Chourio lined a double into left center field. Okay, there's some life. Yelly works a 3-1 count, and he cashes in Jackson.
3-1 pitch. Yelich, a liner into left center field. That's down for a base hit. Chourio streaking around 3rd. He will score. It's an RBI single for Yelich, and the Brewers are on the board against Matthew Liberatore. The first run they have scored against Liberatore when he starts against the Crew. This is his 3rd start lifetime against the Brewers, and they have put together a little 2-out uprising here.
That's all they got there in the 6th. The big moment came in the 7th. The Brewers loaded the bases with nobody out. Jake Bauers came off the bench to pinch hit for Joey Ortiz. He grounded out on the first pitch he saw, but it brought home a run. It put runners on 2nd and 3rd in a 1-run game and only 1 out. Caleb Durbin also swung at the first pitch and saw. He grounded out with the infield in, didn't allow the run to score, and then Terang would ultimately fly out to end the inning. But the real big play of the game, going from bases loaded, nobody out, to only scoring 1 run. Then in the 8th inning, to have men on the corners and only 1 out, Sal Frelick battling against Walker, or rather against Maton. Battling on the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Nolan Arenado reminds everybody he's a platinum glover.
Brings home the pitch, and a chopper on the left side. Fielded by Arenado, throws home, and they got him. Churio thought he got underneath of it. That's a tremendous play by Arenado. Had to go to his glove side. His momentum's taking him towards first base, and had to almost throw across his body home. And how he made an accurate throw to get Churio at the plate.
It was an incredible play. Nonetheless, the Brewers still couldn't cash in. They go down with a double play in the 9th. Ryan Helsley slams the door, and it's a 1-run loss for the Brewers. The first 1-run win of the year for the Cardinals. 3-2 was the final score. We'll break it down coming up next with Jerry Augustine here on ESPN Milwaukee.
This is Brewers Extra Innings.
Save big money on everyday items you need at Menards. Eliminate odors with Damp Rid Moisture Absorbers. They're perfect for basements, attics, closets, and more. Damp Rid Moisture Absorbers work to attract and trap excess moisture to create noticeably cleaner, fresher air. Save big on Damp Rid Moisture Absorbers at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
Welcome back to Brewers Extra Innings.
Welcome back. I'm Dom Cotroneo. 1-800-990-3776 is the phone number. 800-990-3776 right here on ESPN Milwaukee. This is Brewers Extra Innings after a 3-2 loss to the Cardinals. And Jerry Augustine, former Brewers pitcher, joining us now. And Augie, we can talk about, oh my gosh, pitchers don't go 7 or 8 anymore. We could talk about how guys don't throw as long anymore. It doesn't matter how long Chad Patrick threw today. The offense wasn't showing up once again for the Crew. I think that's the big story once again today, going 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position. That's a twofold problem. A, the average of not getting a lot of production with runners in scoring position, but 2, only having 7 at-bats with the runner in scoring position, not even giving yourself a lot of opportunity. The Brewers' offense was a late-arriving party. It was an anybody-but-Liberatore type day, but when you only score 2 runs, you're not going to win many games in Major League Baseball.
This typically was a game that you see between the Cardinals and the Brewers. You see what the Brewers try to do is they try to get that starting pitcher out of the game and get to that bullpen that's usually been struggling, and they did that later on in the game. But I thought there were 2 key plays, Dom, in this that really kind of changed how the game was played. I think in the 5th inning when Isaac Collins threw out Contreras at home, I thought that was huge. Kept the Brewers in the game, still gave them a good chance. If they got in that bullpen, they could possibly get something going and score the runs. But then in the 8th inning, that play by Arenado, that is something special and really changed the whole. That saved the game for them because then they were able to go to Helsley, who was one of the best short men in baseball, and that was a difference. But I think today you give credit. I think Chad Patrick was a day where it was maybe a workmanship game where he had to battle a little bit, and then giving away in the fifth inning to Anderson, he just got a couple balls up, and they were able to score some runs there. But Liberatore was great. Like you said, 6 innings, retired 13 in a row, 10 ground balls. That's good pitching, and he kept the Cardinals in the ball game.
There are 3 third basemen in the world to have ever lived to make the play that Arenado made. It's Nolan, it's Matt Chapman, and it's Brooks Robinson. That's the entire list. That was such a smart play. Every other third baseman is just saying, let me get the lead runner at second base and take my luck of trying to turn a double play. To even have the wherewithal to try to get Chourio, who runs well, was he peaking a little bit? Maybe. But still, I'm sitting here like, all right, great play. Would I have liked Sal to get it out of the infield and not worry about all that? Of course, which is certainly still a factor in all of this. The Brewers' situational offense continues to befuddle them. But again, when you look at the earlier portion of this game, the Brewers didn't have an extra base hit until 2 strikes and 2 outs in the 6th inning. They got another one from Sal Frelick with a fluky double in the 7th inning thanks to a dropped error by Nolan Arenado an inning earlier, right? So the Brewers' offense is what I continue to point to, where you create your own luck, and the Brewers haven't had any sort of good luck go their way because they're showing up a little too late, trying to ask for too much when you're already down 3-0 heading into leverage bullpen. You're asking for it there at that point.
Yeah, you're talking about those runners in scoring position, and that's always the key. Anytime you play, get guys on base, you got to get them in. And, you even take that 8th inning when Arenado made that great play on Sal's ball he hit. That was a 9-pitch at-bat. He battled right there. But what he wanted to do is put the bat on ball. He did it. But I'll tell you what, Arenado just made a play that, his body was actually turned like he looked like there was no way that he could throw the ball home, was able to twist his body and make a perfect throw to home to get Chourio out. So, great plays and great games, that's what you need to have. And this was a game that, I'll tell you, because starting pitching for St. Louis, Liberatore just took him into that 7th inning, was able to keep that bullpen out from earlier, and that really made a big difference.
Yeah, he was really impressive. 1-800-990-3776, 1-800-990-3776. Let's get to Sam in New Berlin on the phone line. Sam, you're live here on Brewers Extra Innings.
Good evening. Thank you for taking my call. Do I have a minute for a quick rant?
I mean, make sure you be smart here. You're on live radio.
All right. So I just find it's just really frustrating when you have those big opportunities late in the game and you just can't come through. You mentioned the Durbin ground out, the Frelick ground out, and obviously Arenado made an outstanding play there, so I can't complain about that. But then I just have a gripe about, I can already hear people talking about the contact play. I'm like, enough with that nonsense. Just get the ball in the air if you want.
Yeah.
If you want to get rid of getting thrown out of the plate. And the main thing that the words I've been searching for, I just found, is that can the Brewers get back to playing fundamental baseball? And I'm getting a little concerned here, so I would like a little positivity from you, Dom, tonight, if that's possible.
We'll try to find some positivity. I'm always good for it. You know that, but I appreciate the call, Sam. On the Brewers fundamental baseball front, I mean, you can point to it, and Augie, I know you agree with me on this, that this week in San Francisco, they played the exact opposite of fundamental baseball, and they lose closely contested games. What that tells me, Augie, is this team's good enough to compete, but it's not good enough to make mistakes, right? Teams like the Cubs, forgive me, but it's the truth. Teams like the Cubs can make mistakes because their offense is elite, right? They have something elite about them. A team like the Dodgers can absorb starting pitching injuries a lot like the Brewers can because their offense is elite. The Brewers, their defense is supposed to be that elite piece, and it has not been in San Francisco. There were a couple moments in today's game. I thought Chourio's throw wasn't great either, but when your main calling card isn't living up to snuff, you're going to lose frustrating games like this week. So on one hand, on one shoulder, the devil in the shoulder is like, oh my gosh, they're never going to win. They can't play like this. This is terrible fundamental baseball. The angel on your shoulder is like, well, this isn't their capability. They're way better than this. They know they can play better than this, and they can flip a lot of these scoreboards. So I'm going to listen to the angel on my shoulder here, Augie, because fundamental baseball is how the Brewers are supposed to win games. That's how they won last year.
Yeah, and they did. They played so well last year. And you know, anytime, Dom, you go against a good baseball team, and let's take the team, let's take San Francisco. That's a really sound, good baseball team. They are going to apply pressure with their bats, their defense, and their pitching, the strong pitching that they do have. They're always going to apply pressure. And the one thing that the Brewers baseball team has been able to do, the ball club has been doing, is they've been able to rise to the occasion and play good, strong defense. I think what you saw in San Francisco was just a series that the Brewers did not play well on the defensive side of the ball, and allowed San Francisco to take advantage of some mistakes, and were able to score some runs, and they win 3 out of 4 games. That's going to happen, and I think we saw when Murph was a little upset, saying that that's probably as bad as this team has played since he's been here for 10 years. So they didn't play real well, but when you play against good teams, they're going to apply pressure. But I'll tell you what, one of the keynotes, Dom, and we've talked about it so much, is this good, strong defensive part of this ball club is really plays a big role in how they play and how they played last year. They have to return to that. That's that fundamental baseball. That's playing sound defense, having the strong pitching, and score enough runs to win. And I'll tell you, they got to get back to that. Defensively, the last series was not good. Today, it wasn't as bad, but I'm going to tell you what, Cardinals pitched really well, and they were able to score 3 runs, just one more than the Brewers were able to get.
Yeah, I mean, the pitching's been there for the Brewers, right? This is another loss in which they allow 4 or fewer runs. That's 4 of them on the year of their 14 losses. I mean, that's where you kind of look to the offense like, hey, where are you guys at right now, too, trying to figure that out. Let's talk about the pitching a little bit deeper. Chad Patrick not getting out of the 5th inning. That's coming up next. But first, I want to thank our presenting sponsor all season long. It's our friends at Fifth Third Bank. If you're looking for a business banking partner that truly understands your business's needs, look no further than Fifth Third Bank. With a local team right here in Milwaukee, they know how to hit out of the park every time. For 15 years, they've been serving our community with industry-specific expertise and local decision-making capabilities to help your business thrive. Experience the unique commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC. Take a breather. Come back with more with Augie after this, right here on ESPN Milwaukee.
This is Brewers Extra Innings.
Mark Tauscher here for Prize Picks, the best place to turn your sports knowledge into cash. With millions of members, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. Cash in on the basketball playoffs with Prize Picks. Don't miss your last chance to add your favorite players from the court to your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's points, rebounds, assists, take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash today. Starting with the play-in round, every lineup you make on Prize Picks will enter you in the Takes 2 ticket sweepstakes, which could get you a +1, a VIP trip to the ship. Download the app today and use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Nestled along the shores of Lake Michigan, the Knickerbocker Hotel offers a timeless escape in the heart of Milwaukee. Immerse yourself in the rich history of this iconic landmark where charm meets modern luxury. Picture yourself enjoying breathtaking lake views, luxurious rooms, and dining at one of the finest restaurants in the city. Whether you're visiting for a weekend getaway or a special occasion, the Knickerbocker promises an unforgettable experience. Your perfect stay awaits at the Knickerbocker Hotel. For more information and to book your next stay, visit knickerbockeronthelake.com.
Welcome back to Brewers Extra Innings.
Brewers fall today 3-2 to the Cardinals. Game 1 of a 3-game set. Find out what you're made of real quick here. Trying to win this series going up against Sonny Gray tomorrow, and then in the Sunday finale against Eric Fetty. The Brewers will counter with Quinn Priester and Jose Quintana over the next 2 games. With Jerry Augustine, I'm Dom Cotroneo. The final line for Chad Patrick today reads like this: 4 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, all earned, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Just 70 pitches, 42 of them were strikes. He was lifted in the 5th inning, getting ready for the 3rd time through the order, which we've talked a lot about before in the past, that the modern game does not like a starter facing a 3rd time through the order. Gave way for left-on-left matchup of Tyler Alexander versus Lars Nootbaar, then Wilson Contreras, and then Brendan Donovan. Those are the 3 batters that Alexander was guaranteed to face. 2 of them lefties, and all 3 of them got base hits off of Alexander, which led it to being a 3-0 lead instead of a 1-0 lead. This isn't a debate about, oh my goodness, the sport, what happened to the sport I love, why can't starters go deeper into the game? I understand the argument of a 3rd time through the order, Augie, but you don't know what you got till you do it, and I understand there was a little bit of hard contact there at the end. You're trailing 1-0, and in all honesty, this is not the role that Tyler Alexander was signed to do, to be a leverage lefty. That was not his role here. In my opinion, and I'm just a know-nothing radio guy, in my opinion, you let it roll with Chad Patrick, right? He's gotten Nootbaar to fly out, and he's gotten him to walk, okay? So 50-50 on that front. But then you get another righty on deck in Contreras, who's 0 for 2 after that. Then maybe you consider what you want to do with Brendan Donovan, given he hadn't retired him by that point. Again, this isn't a debate about the state of baseball now where starters aren't allowed to face a 3rd time through the order. I just thought in the microcosm of this game, it's easy to sit and say, oh, just let it ride with Chad Patrick. I think I'd still be feeling the same if Chad Patrick gave up 2 runs there in the 5th inning and would say, hey, your starter had to figure out what he's got, and we'll never know for sure because he was pulled.
Yeah, you know, Don, what happens, one of the things they used to say in pitching, especially in the major leagues, when you have they take it and break down of 5 starts, and they say in 5 starts you're going to have 1 start where you throw the ball right where you want it. Things go smooth. You have one of those great games, and you're going to go out and you're destined to pitch a really good ball game. And then there's 3 games where it's just a workmanship game. You go out, you feel good, you throw the ball. Things are, you got sometimes and you get yourself in a little bit of trouble, but you're able to fight your way out because you got good stuff. And then there's that one game. There's that one game that becomes, I always call it, it's a workmanship game. It's a battle game where you're battling yourself. You don't have the really great control, but yet you can go out there and you're going to battle and you're going to do everything you can to keep your team in the game. And I think that was one of the game. That was kind of the game that Chad Patrick had tonight. It just seemed like he pitched well. He didn't have his great stuff, and I think that's one reason why Murph went to with a young pitcher going through what he did through the 4 1/3 after the base hit by Wynn. He said, I'm going to go match up right there. And that's why he brought Alexander in. It didn't work out, but I think that's where Murph was talking there. He had that one game where he was kind of just battling, but still Chad Patrick kept you in the ballgame. He did his job. He pitched well. He battled. He's the kind of guy that can reach back and do good things. It just didn't go well for Alexander today, and that was a difference in the ballgame.
Yeah, and for Alexander, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because, like I said, he was brought here as a swingman, not necessarily meant for leverage roles. And some statisticians and folks in ivory towers would argue with me, Dom, there's no such thing as leverage when you're trailing. I disagree. I just disagree entirely from a baseball perspective, right? And you can disagree with me either, Augie, too. So you've got a man on first with 1 out, in the top of the order up, down 1-0 in the 5th inning. In my opinion, that's leverage. Like, I don't care that you're down on the road. Your job is to keep that 1-0 to feel like you're in this. I know the Brewers ultimately scored 2 runs in this game and avoided a shutdown inning there in the top of the 6th inning, right? So to be able to respond by scoring runs after this bad 5th inning. But in my opinion, because the Brewers can't go quickly to Jared Koenig in the 5th inning, their only other lefty in the bullpen is Tyler Alexander because they sent down Brian Hudson because of his lack of command. So every day leads to the next, as we say here in Major League Baseball. And now you look at, okay, my only leverage lefty I have now is Jared Koenig because of the lack of performance and because of all the bullpen use this week, and you're in the middle of 13 in a row. You're going to have some guys not as effective as you'd hope for at this point. You got to weather this storm because it is coming on strong right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you were right there. You look at that situation. Sometimes if you got a healthy bullpen and everything is going well, you can bring in a Koenig right there to be that stopper for the starter. But I think in this situation, the way Alexander has been throwing the baseball, he's been locating the ball really well, being able to get ahead of hitters. Last two times out, he's just been missing with some of his pitches. He hasn't been locating them as well, and that's really made a big difference. Made some mistakes, and the Cardinal hitters were able to take advantage of him. That does happen, but Alexander's a type of guy, like you said. He's that guy that can come in, start an inning, and pitch multi-innings. But they're going to lean on him a little bit to come in, hopefully, and make some better pitches. I just thought today pitching got away from him. He got away from his command in some pitches, put some balls in some bad spots, and the Cardinals were able to take advantage of them.
Yeah, they were not fooled by what he brought up. Not a single swing and miss in this one either for Tyler Alexander in this 3-2 loss. The losing pitcher is Chad Patrick, though. We got to talk a little offense. Also, an injury update. Wait, what? Yep, Garrett Mitchell got hurt in this game. We'll react to that coming up next right here on ESPN Milwaukee.
This is Brewers Extra Innings.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
They say seeing is believing. And when you check out what's waiting for you at American Place Casino, you'll definitely believe you'll love it. From thrilling gaming to top-notch service, we're changing the game. Come play all your favorites like blackjack, craps, roulette, and the latest slots. Catch a game at the sportsbook, enjoy great restaurants, bars, and more. If you're ready for excitement, exceptional service, and an experience you'll never forget, then we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game. Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Men, you're being robbed of your potential. Research shows a shocking 1% annual decline in testosterone levels. That's why building muscle feels impossible and your confidence is at an all-time low. But here's the truth. You're not alone in this uphill battle. Mentality's physician-directed, FDA-approved treatment doesn't just level the playing field, it restores your body's powerful balance. Our patients experience a documented 30% increase in their testosterone levels. Stop struggling and turn this around. Defy the odds and reclaim your masculine edge at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Hey, Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra at 3rd Street Market Hall, Milwaukee, Broad Stop, Kenosha, Bullwinkle's Brookfield, Curly's Waterfront, Pewaukee, and the new Fashion Milwaukee. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Welcome back to Brewers Extra Innings.
Brewers Extra Innings is brought to you by Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Spring is here. Warmer weather is on the way. Is your AC ready to keep you cool? Right now, it's Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. You can get $25 off an AC tune-up, but hurry. This deal's only good through the end of April, so only a few days left. Visit cider.com, SEIDER.com. With Jerry Augustine, I'm Dom Cotroneo. Update from this one. Garrett Mitchell had to be pulled from this contest after 3 innings in what the Brewers called oblique discomforts. Officially, it was on which side was it here? It was left oblique for Garrett, so the backside of the swing. He said, according to Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel Todd Rosiak, that he will go under an MRI tomorrow morning. Too early to guess the severity. Garrett felt it on a swing and immediately alerted the training staff. He didn't want to make it worse by potentially playing through it. This is another blow to the Brewers that they don't need. Granted, Garrett's been in a slump right now, and obliques are always notoriously finicky. But with that being said, the Brewers' depth in the outfield is already taking a hit with not having Blake Perkins. They would prefer to have Christian Yelich be the DH, but yet they're now racing to a scenario where Isaac Collins and Christian Yelich are playing a lot more defense than maybe originally expected at the start of the year.
Yeah, when you're looking, boy, they had all set to where to do with Mitchell in center, and you put Cheerio in left and Frelick in right. You have a pretty good outfield right there. This is, I feel so bad. I feel so bad for Garrett. He just, he hasn't been able to stay healthy, and having that is going to probably, you never know. But usually if it's something mild, it means that you're going to probably be put on the IL for a short period of time. And the Brewers are going to have to make adjustments. You're going to have a Isaac Collins come up, and he's been playing very well. He's going to play more of a role. You're going to have to see Christian play a little bit more in left field. So they're going to have to make adjustments, and it's one thing they will fight through. But I just really hate to see Garrett Mitchell. He's worked so hard this year to have such a good year. To come up with a little injury like this, that's really tough to see.
So we'll know more throughout the weekend. Just this is a disclaimer here. Pure speculation alert. Pure speculation alert. Daz Cameron was pulled from his game down in AAA Nashville after only 3 at-bats, and he had homered earlier in the game. Daz Cameron, if you're not familiar, yes, Mike Cameron's son. Everyone loves Mike Cameron. Daz has been awesome since being acquired from the Brewers when the Brewers DFA'd Grant Wolfram a couple of weeks ago. Daz, this year now in AAA Nashville, he's got an over 350 batting average. He hit his 5th homer of AAA tonight, so keep an eye on that name. He's not on the 40-man, though, which means there would need to be a corresponding move. Before I let you go, Augie, we got to talk about what's going on up the middle. Joey Ortiz is in the funk of all funks right now. Vinny Capra is also 0 for his last a lot. They're both your shortstops. The Brewers are in this mode here in April where I think they're starting to gather enough of a sample size to look around and be like, okay, I mean, Joey got pinch hit for with the bases loaded and nobody out in the 7th inning. That's kind of one indicator of how the team is feeling about you. What are you seeing from Joey in particular right now? Because he needs to play as much as he can as the defensive whiz as a shortstop, but yet he makes another error today on a stolen base attempt. Joey's, to say the least, going through it in a sophomore slump right now.
Yeah, they do. You make that. It's such a big position when he was at third base. Now he was there last year, and they say, well, how can you play? He had some really good offensive output. He played extremely well on defense and at the hot corner. But when you play up the middle, it's just a little bit different. You're like the quarterback on the infield along with Terang at second base, and you have to make those tough plays. And I think, you get there's a little bit more pressure put on you, and I think he's maybe feeling that a little bit. And I just think it takes time. It takes time both on the offensive side and on that defensive side to really sit where you feel comfortable, where you're slowing the game down, you're taking what you can get and giving yourself and play good, solid defense, number one, but also on that, be able to provide on the offensive side of the ball. And I think if he's just going through a funk right now where it's just going to take some time, and they're going to have to give him some more days off or give him a couple of days rest or maybe play him a little bit more sporadically just to get him in that groove to where he's got that comfort level. Finding that comfort level with a position change from third base to shortstop is a big move, and that's what I see him having a little bit of a tough time right now.
Yeah, in his last 91 games, including tonight, this goes back to the start of the second half last season. He's only hitting 200 with a 586 OPS. Now, you can counter that by playing elite defense, which ordinarily has been his calling card, but that has slowly had a tough road trip this week with the lack of double plays, a couple of errors charged against him. I pause to say it's still early, but you're running out of time to say it's still early, and I've long defended the Brewers of saying, hey, if they see something that's not working, they're going to do everything in their power to try to fix it. I think of 2021 and going to acquire Willy Adames. And mind you, there's not much available right now as far as up the middle if you want to make a shocking trade of that sort. But a reminder to folks, when the Brewers acquired Willy Adames in 2021, when he arrived and walked in the door, he was hitting 197 with a 625 OPS. And I know people will say, oh, with the Trop, he couldn't see it. But the fact of the matter is, he wasn't performing at the start of his season 2, and he turned it around with a change of scenery. I'm not saying that's necessarily what's going to happen with Joey Ortiz, but it can turn on a dime, and all of a sudden, you're like, okay, yeah, that looks like the guy that the Brewers were hoping for.
Yeah, you just want to look at what they got there at shortstop with Capra and Ortiz there. You're just hoping that these guys can settle down, slow the game down, go out and play at a good comfort level. And I agree with you. Sometimes not only does it take give you a little bit of pressure on the offensive side because you feel like you should swing the bat, drive runs in, get better at bats, but sometimes it carries over to that defense, and that's one thing where you can't let it. Defense is a trademark of this ball club. Being up the middle is such a key part of this ball club, and this is a position that I'm sure the Brewers are going to be concerned about if it continues this way.
All right, Augie, I appreciate you pinch hitting tonight. It was a game for Craig Gachon, but he was over hanging out with the Bucks. We'll be talking to you, I'm sure, next week as well. Appreciate you joining us here as always, and hopefully we'll get some wins without you.
Come back. Still got a big series. Anytime you go inside the division, like you just said, winning this series is so important. They got 2 big games coming up. Hopefully they can come back and put some runs on the board tomorrow.
All right, Jerry Augustine, former Brewer great, coming up after the break. We'll hear from manager Pat Murphy. We'll also get some final thoughts a little bit later on. 1-800-990-3776. Again, 1-800-990-3776 right here on ESPN Milwaukee.
This is Brewers Extra Innings.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from enchanted spins, unreal treasures, and boundless bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
Hey friends, celebrate draft week with the first round flavor of El Bandito Yankee, the official tequila of game day. Break out the Bandito Thursday pre-draft tailgate at 880 Stadium Drive and then head to Black Saddle at 7 p.m. for the first round watch party. Friday, the criminally smooth picks keep rolling with drink specials at Cock and Bull and Prohibition Spirits Cigar Lounge for rounds 2 and 3. Stock up for all your draft days with the award-winning all-natural Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo. Break out the Bandito today at your local Hy-Vee and Woodman's locations. Learn more at elbanditoyankee.com.
During draft week, make the ultimate pick your child's future. Bet on their success with Advest 529, Wisconsin's direct soul college savings plan. Here's the play. Open an Advest 529 account now until April 27th with just $25, and Advest will match it with $25. That's right. Save $25, get $25. The clock is ticking. Don't miss your shot to score a brighter future. Open your account before April 27th to score your bonus. Go to advest.com/draft25 to lock in your $25 bonus today.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Welcome back to Brewers Extra Innings.
Brewers lose today 3-2. Tough one. It's not over. Again, look at the calendar. This is where it truly is early. It's April 25th. Let's not freak out about being one game under 500 on April 25th. Because, as you know, watching, they have not played to their potential yet. The big stat that blows my mind about this team right now is they still don't have a multi-run comeback this year. They don't have comeback wins. They haven't been a team that's been able to come from behind. Their one comeback win this year can barely constitute as such. It was the Royals finale, the first series of the year at home, the extra inning thriller with the squeeze, walk-off squeeze. The only time the Brewers were trailing in that game was when it was 2-1 heading to the bottom of the 10th, and they started the inning, of course, with a man on second base. That is their only comeback win of the year. That needs to change ASAP. Of course, you would like to win as many games being a front runner, but if that's the only way you can win games, that's a problem. Brewers, kind of like how we talk about guys waiting on their first home run, the first one's the hardest to get. Maybe the first comeback win is the hardest to get. Being down 3-0 early, they almost did it today. They had plenty of opportunities to do so. They couldn't get it done. Pat Murphy agrees. Here's his press conference from today's 3-2 loss.
the back-to-back innings, the 7th and the 8th, Arenado kind of opens the door a little bit for you there. And then in the 8th, you just see the greatness of him at third base, right? Defensively, it's a tough play.
Yeah, he's a great player. Nolan's been a great player for a while, and he comes through in big situations. That was an outstanding play. They had the lefty at the plate, so the guy, and Nolan was playing close to the line. It's really hard to get a big lead. They had that play where they modified pitch out, throw down to third. So Churio was doing what he could do, and it was a great play. Bang bang, great play. They made every big play, and they hit in the clutch, and we had opportunities. We didn't play bad. We had some opportunities we didn't come through, but the guys battled, and we got to go through this. That's just all there is to it. We got to go through it.
How tough was it to get kind of Liberatore out of rhythm tonight? He
was good. Libby's he's a good pitcher. He's been throwing like that. He's been pretty consistent. But to get him out of there, then we had chances. I think we swung the bat better than we had in San Francisco, to be honest with you. We faced good pitching, and we put some good swings on it. All the guys, Churio back swinging it good. Contreras had a great line drive in the clutch. Yelich had two line drives. And Collins came off the bench, and it's Capper's forte. And the reason he made the team is he handles four-seam guys, and that was a perfect matchup for him. And he ended up swinging at a tough pitch, but it's a tough one.
What did you think of Chad tonight?
He did well. The leadoff walk, ends up haunting him. He's really learning every time out, and I was really impressed with him. We didn't really want him to face them 3 times around with all the lefties, and
Obviously, you're going to go through stretches like this in a 162-game season. I mean, you mentioned you swung the bat better tonight than you did in San Francisco. I mean, are those types of positives that you want the guys?
I think there's a lot of positives tonight. Yoho threw the ball great. Anderson threw the ball great. I think, again, a lot of our guys, Collins got a chance to play, and now we'll probably get a bigger chance to play. So Collins will help us, and he swung the bat good. And, I think there's reason to be excited about it, but we got to go through skids like this where things don't go our way, or guys make great plays against us or pitch great against us. That's going to be part of it. And again, Chad Patrick's making his 4th or 5th start in his major league career, and did fine. And this is a really good ball game. They're the home team, so they beat us in a squeaker. That was good.
Was it a particular play for Garrett or swing that
not exactly sure how it happened. He came off and told our trainers he was feeling it. I think it was on a throw, to be honest with you. It would be unfortunate. This kid has been plagued by injuries. It would be very unfortunate. It's a really good center fielder, that would be unfortunate. But that's all part of it, guys. We got to get through it, and we got to stay together and get through it.
Stay in the fight. Stay in the weather of the storm. It's April. This team's going to be very different even by the end of June. We'll talk about some of that reaction to the end of the San Francisco series. We didn't have a show yesterday. Kind of put a bow on that as we get ready to move ahead to the rest of this series. By the way, that Arenado play that we keep referencing, that is our Surfside play of the game. Brought to you by Surfside, a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside iced tea and vodka and Surfside lemonade and vodka paired perfectly with the day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Take a breather, talk a little team meetings after this right here on ESPN Milwaukee.
This is Brewers Extra Innings.
Save big money on your next project at Menards. Never run out of hot water again with a hybrid heat pump water heater from Richmond. This water heater's advanced system detects any potential water leaks and sends an alert to your smartphone. Menards has a great selection of water heaters in stock, ready to take home today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Are you ready to win some real cash during the basketball playoffs? It's time for you to check out Pick 6 from DraftKings. Hey, it's Alex Rowe. When it comes to basketball payouts, DraftKings Pick 6 posterizes the competition, including all other daily fantasy options. It's easy. Download the Pick 6 app in your app store and make at least 2 selections by clicking more or less on player projections. Hit all your picks and score higher minimum payouts on Pick 6, plus even more cash if you outscore the competition. Pick 6 is available in most states, including right here in Wisconsin, California, Texas, Georgia, and more. And you can pick on anything: basketball, baseball, golf, and more. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code WKTI. That's code WKTI. For new customers to play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded is non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
It's what you wait for all week. The three-pointers, the rebounds, the thrill of every shot. Win or lose, it's the hope that keeps you coming back. The dream that this time, it might be your year. And so you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when the pressure's on, your support is everything. That's why the NBA store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. Kyle, Brust, and Nordman. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Welcome back to Brewers Extra Innings.
A couple segments left here on the program. Quick peek around the league here as the Cubs, they shut out the Phillies today. Kudos to the Cubs, man. I mean, they're playing very, very well. They are 17-10 on the season. The Brewers will see them for the first time next weekend, which is why this series and the White Sox series is so important. We've been talking all week about this opportunity of this 10-game road trip of that, hey, can you show what you're made of against the Giants? They could have, but they lost the series 3-1. Now you're punching the mouth again against the Cardinals. All right, can you get yourself off the deck and go and win the next few rounds and take this series and then take care of business against a much inferior opponent in the White Sox? And I'm not even mincing words on that. I mean, it's the truth. You need to beat the White Sox, and quite frankly, you need to sweep them. And you're probably going to see Shane Smith, the guy that you passed on that didn't put on the 40-man roster, so there's going to be revenge game tactics. And I mean, the White Sox are about to be 6-20 by the end of the night. They're losing to the A's right now. But elsewhere in the division, the Pirates, Paul Skeens shutting down the Dodgers right now. It's 3-0 there. The Pirates are a chance to go to 11-16. The Reds just beat the Rockies. Holy cow, the Rockies are 4-21? 4-21? Yikes. Wow. Okay, well, the Reds are now back at 500. They're at 13-13, so technically ahead of the Brewers. And then finally, a non-division note. How about Devin Williams? Yankees. It's not going well. He didn't record an out today. He faced 3 batters. He came in for the save. At the time, the Yankees were up 2-1. comes in for the save, and here's how it went. Line drive single, hit by pitch, 2-run double. See ya. 3 batters, see you later. Out of the game. 12 pitches. Then one of his inherited runners scored against Mark Leiter Jr. And the Blue Jays end up winning by a 4-2 final. This isn't meant to dance on Devin or anything like that, but just like this trade hasn't gone well for anyone. Caleb Durbin, thank goodness he's starting to produce here now in the big league level. But so far, Devin this year, he has allowed 10 earned runs in just 8 innings. He has 7 walks and 8 strikeouts. Yikes. Brewers don't see him again the rest of the year. Real quick, I saw some animosity on my social. I'm at Dom_Catronio about the whole team meeting reaction yesterday. In case you missed it, if you haven't read the Gamers from Adam McCalvey and from Kurt Hogue, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, MLB.com, that the Brewers held a closed-door team meeting after the loss on Thursday in San Francisco. And it was necessary, and Christian Yelich also spoke about the meeting, saying it needed to be done. We needed to set the standard higher. Folks saying in my social, some meeting they had, really worked out. Okay, this isn't a movie, right? This isn't a Disney movie where you slam open the doors, like, yeah, let's go win, and you win 20-0, and Air Bud comes out. Like, this isn't a movie. You're still professionals on the other side. But to air that grievance or to air whatever was plaguing the Brewers at that time needed to be flushed, get rid of it as soon as possible, and get moving forward, because they got a tall task tomorrow with Sonny Gray on the mound. That meeting was necessary, and then, quite frankly, you lead by example. You've got some guys really performing right now for the Brewers. You heard Pat Murphy talk about the fact that, Craig Yoho throws a couple of scoreless frames. I thought that was important. Rhys Hoskins is white hot right now. I'm sure he would have loved to get a base hit there in the 8th inning, but he's now 2 for 4 today. Averages up to 297. Frelick extends his on-base streak thanks to Nolan Arenado's error. That's 21 straight games now for Sal. His on-base sits at 391. There is still a lot of good going on for the crew. Let it all come through, okay? Right now, you're approaching 115 plate appearances for some guys, and it's starting to feel sticky. It's starting to feel sustainable. What will the next 100 or so plate appearances look for some of the key players on this club? Let's preview tomorrow coming up next here on not 620. I only did it once tonight. It's 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee.
This is Brewers Extra Innings.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's construction season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
At Citizens Bank, community banking is you. Growing your business with a partner who gets it. It's you. Buying your first home with a lender who makes it easy. It's you. Building a future with savings that work just as hard as you. And it's us, working together to strengthen our community. Because at Citizens Bank, community banking means you plus us. Visit us at citizensbankwi.bank. Citizens Bank is member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
For your next night out, revel in the fusion of artistry and flavor with sushi at St. Kate, offering guests an elevated experience where freshness and creativity converge in every bite. St. Kate the Arts Hotel introduces an exciting new sushi menu to its culinary repertoire. Indulge in the finest seafood, freshest ingredients, and expert craftsmanship for an inspired and delectable dining journey. Experience the art of sushi at St. Kate and learn more at stkatearts.com.
Oh my gosh, Allie, did you look at Janet's roof? Ugh, it's like so flat. It looks like one of those roofing contractor commercials.
Who even understands those roofing guys anyways?
I like flat roofs and I cannot lie. You other contractors can't deny. TPO way up high. I'm hooked and I can't stop staring.
If you want a roof that's worth staring at, Avondale Roofing is where you go. Your roofing experts for over 30 years. AvondaleRoofing.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion, or your first big lightning strike, There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Families agents. Life's better when you're under American Families' roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Welcome back to Brewers Extra Innings.
Tomorrow, we're back over on the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ. 1:15 will be the first pitch. I'm on the air at noon, though, with Brewers warm-up. Hope you can join us over there, getting you into the network coverage coming up just a little bit after that at the bottom of the hour. Then, Sonny Gray versus Quinn Priester tomorrow afternoon. We'll have Brewers Extra Innings after it as well. Sunday, same time, same place. Noon Brewers warm-up, 1:15 first pitch. Post-game show to follow. That one will be Jose Quintana against Eric Fetty. And now, with the Bucks winning tonight, that means we're guaranteed to have a Game 5. So Game 3 is Sunday night. It will not intersect with our coverage of the Brewers unless that game goes 20 innings for some reason. So no worry about coverage changes on Sunday. We will still be Brewers in the afternoon, Bucks that night. It's not until an 8:30 tip-off anyway for Game 3. And then Game 4 is scheduled for Tuesday. We do not have a tip-off time yet, but we imagine that will also kick us back here to 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee on Tuesday, which then means Game 5 in Indianapolis, or rather here, I should say. Game 5 would be on Friday of next week, a week from today. Again, don't know game time, and it would kick us right back here to ESPN Milwaukee. Bucks will always be on WTMJ for playoffs. We'll slide over here to ESPN Milwaukee. That is going to do it for our program this evening, hoping that Brewers can get back on track sooner as opposed to later. It's always more fun to talk about wins, but we're here to try to shine some positivity if there's losses and give it to you real when things aren't going according to plan. More to react to tomorrow. It should be another fun pitching matchup. Quinn Priester, can he make the adjustments from all of his walks against the Giants? Against Sonny Gray, Brewers have seen plenty of him no matter what the jersey, whether it be a Reds jersey, whether it be a Twins jersey, and now a Cardinals jersey. He has made his rounds around Major League Baseball. That will do it for us tonight. My thanks to our producer, Chris Larson, here at ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Until next time, keep on swinging.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Sky Rizzy, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription